Welcome to East Tennessee Pinball. Today I'm going to try to fix this little display here on this dialed in LE. So I got this game in. It's well, it's my game. It's not in. But anyway, this display doesn't work. So what it would do is when you first boot up the game, this screen would just have a blue field and have a little sign in here that said VGA. This one would be dark. So you start the game. Once the game would start up and boot up and start playing, this one was working fine. And this one would just be blank. Every now and then you'd see a flicker of what it's supposed to be. Like this is supposed to simulate a cell phone. And so you'd see like the little icons of the cell phone intermittently. But so I wasn't sure what was wrong with it. So the first thing I did was, well, let me explain a little bit. So this display, or cell phone if you want to call it that, that's what it's supposed to be. It's got a VGA just like on the computer, and it's also got this Ethernet cable. The Ethernet cable just runs the lights around the perimeter. It's a bunch of LED lights, so that's not of any importance. This VGA cable sends the digital signal for the display. Basically, you got the same setup for this in the quantum theater. It's mounted up here on the top and it's on a mirror. But anyway, so you see that VGA cable there, and both those cables go up to a computer up here, like a PC computer, and it's got two VGA outputs. So the first thing I did, those two VGA outputs, I didn't. I'm not going to take this off again, but basically I swapped those two cables. So this and that, I swapped them coming off the computer in the back. And so when I took the other side of this one and I swapped them on the backside. So what happened was I could see the signal that was supposed to go to here over here in the quantum theater. So that told me for sure two things. One, that the signal coming from the computer, the VGA signal from the computer was working, and my cables were good. So I pretty much knew that the problem was with this display. But there's actually two parts to this display. There's the display itself, which I'm holding there, and it's got this little fragile, I don't really want to break it, fragile flexible cable, that little brown thing hanging over there. And then there's this board here, which is the driver board. So my suspicion is that the driver board's bad, because when I first boot it up, it displays a blank screen, and it even displays a little text that says VGA. But it will do that if I just, like right now, if I plug it in, I'm going to do that right now, without that VGA cable in there, it will display that information. So I'm going to turn it on, and I'll probably pause y'all because this game takes like 5 minutes to boot up. Sorry. There it is. I'm just starting to boot up. See, the other one's had some information on it there. It said Jersey Jack. This one just says the VGA, and then it goes dark. So there, see, that one again has a Jersey Jack symbol. But so this would, my suspicion is the display is good. It's just the driver. So I contacted Jersey Jack, and I told them the symptoms, and they confirmed that it's probably the driver board. I bought a driver board from them. It's like 42 bucks. You can get them other places too. It's kind of a generic driver board. I mean, somewhat generic anyway. They sell that same board at multiple places. They're all about 42 bucks. I just went ahead and got it from Jersey Jack. They shipped it. I got it like less than a week later. So I've got that here in the shop. So I'm going to put it in here real quick and see if that fixes the problem. Just gotta open this thing up. So by the way, Jersey Jack was super responsive with the emails, or they basically filled out a support form online, and like with less than 24 hours, I had a response. It was very, very useful. So yeah, so here's that replacement board. Oh, they gave a new cable too. I was like, why is that big long cable there? So I'm just going to take that off because I'm probably just going to use the other one. And so I just have to plug in a cable here and a cable here, and oh, that the display plugs in right there. And we'll get this thing running, hopefully. All right, so I'm going to unplug this. That cable off. This cable off, and this one to get here, you can see a little bit better. Y'all see that? Yeah. So there's a couple little, those little two little things come out, and then this comes in. So this new board doesn't have those little, that little black thing to hold it in there. Maybe it just squeezes in. I don't know. Oh, and I'm gonna have to take this to the bench and mount this to this. I'm gonna take the whole thing to the bench to get this thing done over, because this is kind of delicate. So the first thing I'm gonna do is take these little plastic screws out, nylon screws. I assume they're screws. I think they are. So apparently this particular part has been somewhat problematic on these games, because just based on what I've read on Pinside, there's been people that have had to replace these little 4.3-inch displays quite a bit. No, I shouldn't have tightened those first two too soon. This one needs a little wiggle room to get in the hole. There we go. Okay, so now, so the question I had, so this one has, like I said, this one's got these little black things that squeeze it. Once it's in there, that squeezes it in and holds it in place. And this one doesn't appear to have that feature, so I'm not sure how this one is held in place. Maybe it's just jam it in there and it stays. I don't know. Oh, I think this is it here. That's a lock. So I guess that snaps down. Yeah, that's what it is. So it's open now. Just a different locking mechanism. This is a little flap. It goes down, but I bet I could break this thing trying to get it together. Trying to find a good place to, there we go, that's better. I don't know how far it's supposed to go. Well, it got a bite on it anyway. I think that's in. If it's not, it won't work. I think I'll go take, so I've got to plug in two cables from the other little board. So there's one that plugs in here and one that plugs in here. And this one, I think, is just a serial plug it in. This is the power. So I'll plug in this one and this one, and I should be able to turn on the game and see something. And if not, then I've got other problems. So these are those other two cables. So this one goes here and this one goes there. Pretty straightforward. Okay, I think it's all plugged in. So let's boot up the game and see if we got any. Oh, well, I do have to plug the VGA cable in. I'm just going to plug it in without screwing it in real quick, and we'll try it again. I'm pretty certain that blue screen to death is not good. get that to sit where y'all can see it. How about like that? Okay. Let's try it one more time. Don't want to see the, oh, that's probably not good. Oh, the other one's got a blue screen also, so maybe it's working. We'll see. We'll give it a minute. Oh, this is exciting. Oh, yeah, we have audio. What does it say? Auto config. Yes, okay, it's working. Cool. So that fixed it. So now it's just a matter of buttoning it up. This thing, there's a little plate that goes there, and this goes on. I've got a handful of screws. I had to take the shield that goes up the back, a ball shield, keep the ball rolling off of it, but just some minor stuff. Mount this thing back down the play field. So that for sure, that fixed it. So cool. That's a happy fix. So hope you liked the video. If you do, click that like button and hit subscribe. Cheers. So one last addendum to this video. Some of y'all may have noticed it in the last scene on this video. The screen was shifted off to the side. So this case here, it looks like it's symmetrical, and I guess it is, but the screen itself is not. So you have to put this plastic cover on a certain way, or you have to basically mount the screen into the plastic cover a certain way. So there's a top and a bottom to this, but that's basically what I'm saying. And if you put it the wrong way, like I did the first time, the screen will be offset. So pay attention to that when you replace this thing, or you'll get to do it like twice like I just did. Anyway, cheers.